Well, I'm joined here by one of India's latest international masters, Sharan Rao. Hello, Sharan.
Hi, Sagar. Good evening.
Sharan, where are you right now? Are you in Mangalore?
Yeah, I'm at my home, Mangalore, right now.
Okay, brilliant. Sharan, I think the last time I interviewed you uh, was this one. Is it correct?
Yeah, it is right. Yes. I
This
think Mumbai Mayor's Cup, I think, for second place in below 2000, I think. Yeah.
Yes, and we can read the date behind it. It was 16th
Oh,
of
yeah.
June 2019, I believe. And
Yeah.
it's roughly 4 years later, and you from a 1900 rated player, you've become 2430 now. Is that your live rating?
Yeah. 2433, I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. This is just amazing. The way in which you have sort of improved at chess is so inspiring because I was going through your rating graph and I was seeing that, like, let's say 2 years ago, you were rated 2051. And
Yeah.
right now at this point, I think you're born in 2000, so you're 23 years old, correct?
Yeah. Yes,
So
I'm 23.
so when you were in 2021, you were 21 years old and you had a rating of 2000, and within 2 years you became an IM. This for me is something truly special what you have achieved.
Thank you. Thank you, Sagar. Yeah.
I want to understand how you did you do it, because there are so many people out there who harbor these ambitions that I want to become an IM, I want to become a GM, but after some age there's so many responsibilities which come over you, it becomes impossible to improve. So how did you manage to do it?
Okay. So I think when I was 2033 rated, that is when I started playing foreign events. Until then, I was playing Indian tournaments. I think my last Indian event in 2019 was state champion. No, 2021, I think, was in state championship when I was 2033. And that's when I started going to Serbia and other foreign countries. But just before that, also, I think COVID struck. Yeah.
Hmm.
During COVID times, I was around 1900, entire COVID time. And definitely, I was not able to play like everyone else. I was just sitting at home
Ah,
and I was playing a lot of online events. Every day I was just playing online events, at least like 3, 4 events or 5 events a day,
okay.
sitting at home all day, opening leeches and keep playing all consistent events. But I think after mid COVID or something, I also started coaching because I felt at this stage, I was also doing my engineering, by the way. I was doing my civil engineering in NIT Surathkal. It was an
Yes.
online mode of COVID.
Did you finish
But
it?
I also, yeah, I finished my engineering in 2022, May.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think when I was, yeah, I started coaching because I felt only playing at this stage was a lot of pressure because at age 21, just playing chess without doing anything else, I felt is the bit might be a bit too late because if I might not be very successful in the playing career, I thought at least there is some coaching career. Yeah.
Hmm.
So that is what I felt, and that is why I started coaching online during COVID. But yeah, it was fun actually. I also learned a lot of things during coaching. I was also teaching some kids about end games, and that is when for me also I got some good revision of end games,
Okay.
theoretical end games, and all that. But the main thing is that during COVID, I got a lot of free time.
Hmm.
So because of that free time, I think I got myself more motivated to play chess. So that is when I really got into chess back again.
Hmm.
Because when it was offline engineering, I did not get much time because I had to travel to college, come back home, and there was a lot of time gone there. But COVID times, I had a lot of time at home. So
Right.
that is when I really restarted. And I always liked chess. From the very beginning, I always liked chess. I always wanted to become a good chess player. But the problem was when in ninth standard, I had to discontinue because my parents said you have to go into studies. It is very important to become something. Yeah.
Right.
Chess is just a hobby. So I had to kind of leave chess when I was ninth standard.
Hmm.
And I was studying until 12th and for JEE and all that. And after 12th, when engineering started again, that is when I got some time and again I restarted chess. So that is how I got into chess really at this stage.
Right. And some very interesting points you mentioned. One was COVID period where you didn't have to go to college. So that gave you more time. You played online. You also started coaching, which helped you to improve chess. I mean, at least stay and at least reduced your pressure. So but these things which you mentioned, like coaching, it also impacts your chess, right? You are not able to play so well. Many people complain that when you coach, hey, sometimes your level goes a little bit low. Does that impact you? Did that impact you?
So the day I started coaching, actually, officially, that is when I got a few calls from my friends
Mm.
saying that don't do all this. I mean, it's not necessary. I mean, become something, become a good chess player,
Right.
because coaching impacts a lot on playing. But I mean, even if I believed them, I'm not sure if it actually impacted my play.
Mm.
It was actually fine because maybe I was coaching a few hours. Maybe I was coaching like COVID times, maybe 5, 6 hours a day or something. But after, in the free time, other time I had, I also used to play games on leeches, or I used to do something related to my opening. Maybe I was also practicing simultaneously. And I always felt maybe I had some advanced players as well. So when I
Mm.
um, taught them some things, I also felt slightly helpful. That's one thing. And it also helped me organize a lot of things. So if I knew some end games, so I had to put them in some studies and organize in some list of end games. So now everything is organized and I really like it. So
Mm.
that's also one more thing. But yeah, I mean, maybe if I did not coach and completely played, maybe I would have been a better chess player than what I am today. Maybe,
Mm.
but we never know.
Yeah, maybe
We'll never
not
know.
as well.
Yes.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Because I mean, in the last 2 years, you've gained almost 400 elo points. So if you had to sort of tell us some of the material that you used, maybe some books that you read, some video courses that you watched, what were the things you did, or was it just playing online?
So most of the thing was playing online for sure.
Hmm.
But I think one video course that I watched was Anish Giri's French. I
Hmm.
am a typical French player. So that is one thing I watched a lot. But I did not like all the lines that he has showed. I liked his advanced variation and some things. So I took some of the material, but some of the French material which I played was by myself.
Okay.
His Winnover was also very interesting. I think he's got a lot of depth with Winnover.
Hmm.
That's one thing. For endgames, I did Silmans. Silmans is actually very basic, actually,
Hmm.
but I really like the organization of stuff. So I organized into different studies of pawn endgames, rook endgames, bishop endgames, knight endgames, and also queen endgames. But yeah, that helped me remember the theoretical endgames.
Hmm.
Even though it's very basic, um, I think it slightly helped me a bit there. But middle games, I do not really. I mean, I middle games mostly because I think because of my online games, I played a lot of games, and it maybe comes because of experience. I did not specifically do any book, but maybe I did woodpecker method a bit.
Okay.
So that is how I did it. From white, I guess openings was something which I found online by myself. I was just playing a lot of leeches games, some setups. So I like the setup, so I just got it by myself. I thought, let me go deeper into the setup and all that.
So you are
So I
you
didn't
are
follow.
essentially a D4, knight F3, so and so on player, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like NF3 and get this fianchetto to bishop with
Hmm.
B3, bishop B2.
Right.
So those type of setups. And I felt even though I don't get any advantage, I think it's completely fine if I know the setup.
Right.
So opponent doesn't know, I don't know. So let's play the game. Yeah. Let's play the middle game.
Hmm.
So that's what I mostly learned from. Maybe also, maybe some chessable courses where me and my friends shared and watched or something like that. Yeah.
Ah. And you also sent all your games with black, so I believe that you really are a strong with black pieces.
Not really, actually, because
No.
my white games were not very interesting.
Ah, okay.
I think you asked for some best games or something. So I was like, black games are very interesting, some tactical play and all are there, but white games are very positional, slow chess.
Right.
I thought it would be very boring for the viewers also to watch.
So let's have a look at that game. But before we go there, so let's say in 2022 you finished your engineering. So now you are an engineer, a civil engineer, right?
Yes.
And you were improving at chess, and now you are an IM. You are also a coach. So how do you put all of this into perspective? Is it like the engineer takes a backseat in your life, or is that somewhere featured?
So when I started my engineering, first year of engineering, actually not first year, I think maybe in 11th standard itself, that is PUC first year. That is when I wanted to get into NITK and I wanted civil engineering itself actually in NITK. because my dad is also a civil engineer. He is a builder civil engineer. He is having a business here also. So I thought initially my plan was to continue his business and do civil and all that. I got into NIT Surathkal with civil, but as engineering started, chess got into my life. So I had to do something with chess also. And now I had come to a point in 2023 that I have to choose what do I do, whether I do civil or whether I do chess.
Hmm.
Um, I think there are scope in both the fields, very
Okay.
good scope in both the fields, equally, I feel.
Really?
But I really like the game a lot.
This is
So,
very interesting what you said right now, that the scope in engineering and chess is equal.
I mean, it depends on what level you go to also. That also
Hmm.
matters. Yeah.
Hmm.
But I mean, going to jobs engineering, I don't think I ever considered. I did not consider going to some random companies with random jobs, even though if the package was high, I never really considered it because I never really liked the concept of job. I wanted to do something I like, and I wanted to do something for myself. That's also that. So I think for jobs, I would not recommend engineering jobs a lot.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's also
Hmm.
there.
So
So yeah.
would you now say that your at this point your aim is to become a grandmaster, or would it be to sort of train others? What would the aim be?
I'm not very sure actually. So after I became an IM, I was really happy because
This
becoming
was
an
in
IM was
July. You became an IM
yeah.
one roughly a month and a half ago.
Oh no, July 15th was when I became an
So
IM. I
two
think.
months ago.
That,
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So July 15th, that is when I touched live rating of 2400, and that day was really very cheerful, very happy day
Hmm.
because since the past 1.5 years or 2 years almost, I was aiming to become an IM, and I struggled a lot through the journey because I had a lot of some ups and downs, and yeah, I was really happy that day. For now, I think my main aim is to rest for some time. I'm
Okay.
not very sure because 2 years were very stressful.
Hmm.
So I thought I'll just rest and coach bit. So definitely I'm coaching a lot. But I will definitely also try my best on how far I can go till my peak. But I'm not very sure if I'm going to try very, very hard to become a grandmaster also because I feel it's very stressful, the path there.
Hmm.
But let's see. I think coaching will also help me fund my trips. So
Yeah.
that also is there for the
In a
moment.
way, you are at your peak right now, right? So, I mean, you not trying to become a GM would be like saying that, okay, I never tried. So, that might be a, something that you might say, you might not be very happy with after a few years, or
Yeah, that's what. So I think maybe I will try to achieve a higher peak if it's
right,
possible.
right.
So if it's possible, then I will try it.
Hmm.
So, but it depends on my future trips, how it goes.
I had the pictures of your IM norms. This was your first IM norm. This you did at a rating of 2179. Uh, and this was at Sunway Sidges
Yes.
in 2021. And
Yeah.
I was just reading an article written by Shahid on ChessBase India, which said you didn't know what an IM norm was at that point. Is that true?
Yeah, I actually did not know what an IM norm was. I mean, I had a brief knowledge of there are some norms required to become an IM and all that, but I did not know really how to achieve the norm.
Mm.
So that is when I was, I think, staying with Sudarshan Bhatt or something, and he told me that you are very close to becoming getting an IM norm. I was like, oh, so that is when I started getting really interested in it, and then I realized, oh, there is something, some conditions for it, and all that.
Mm.
So that is when I started aiming for it.
Brilliant. And then you made your second IM norm in India. So you did speak about going outside India and playing, but this one happened at the Maharashtra GM tournament, and you beat some very strong Indian players like Deepan Chakravarti. There are also Uzbek IM Ortig Nigmatov, Inamul Hussain, Nubair Shah Sheikh. So do you are you of this opinion that it's very tough to gain rating or make norms in India, or you think it doesn't matter wherever you play?
The problem about making norms in India is that your opponents will not be very high rated usually. So if you're maybe around 2-1 rated or 2-2 rated, your opponents will mostly be 1-9 in the first round or 2-0 in the first round. But scoring norms in above 2000 events is definitely possible in India. But there are tournaments which don't usually follow that plan of, even if they mention about 2000, they allow some low rated players also in the field. So scoring norms when there are low rated players is kind of hard
Mm.
because your rating average also goes down. And I feel foreign players, foreign tournaments, they actually follow this about 2000 rule. They keep it very strict. And that is when I think opportunities increase
Right.
because of rating average of opponents increase.
That's very important. But you don't think that Indians are underrated and it's very difficult to gain rating here?
Actually, I feel they're underrated, yes, compared to the other Europeans out there. Yes, but I think only until a certain stage. I feel until the rating of maybe 2100 or 2150 or something. Until then, I feel Indians are very underrated. But after that, I feel the foreign strength after 2-2 or something like that, I feel it's almost the same, the Indian strength and the foreign strength.
Got it. Got it. And this one was your final norm. This happened at a tournament in Czech Republic, was it?
Yes,
Yeah.
Czech Republic.
And here you started off really well with 4 wins. And then you, in the end, also ended with 2 wins there. And you achieved your third IM norm here. And I think you crossed 2400 in another event, maybe the
Yes,
next
after
one.
two events, I think I
Uh,
crossed 2400. Yeah.
Right, and that's how that was your journey of becoming an IM. It's time to look at your game, and I think I want to start off with the miniature win which you had with the black pieces, and that could also sort of teach our viewers how to play French defense because it's a nice little game, just a 21 move victory. So, shall we look at that?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So this one is against a player who's rated around 2000, 1999, uh, Stodev Simeon. And he opens the game with 1 e4. You go for e6 and d5, knight c3, knight f6, e5, knight d7, f4, and c5. So you didn't go for the whenever you played this line. You kind of change, yes? So instead of bishop b4, here knight f6, you try both, or how is it?
So usually I play a line of six a lot. So Anish Giri's course of maneuver was really good, but I felt there are some very very complicated variations. So I play whenever only when I am prepared,
Mm,
when I see whenever just one day before the round. But when I do not prepare one day before the round, I just play this move, knight of six,
knight f6,
because
okay.
I think there are a lot of lines to remember in whenever. That's the problem.
Right,
Yeah.
okay. So you c5, knight to f3, knight c6, bishop e3, queen b6. He went knight a4. This is all theory. Check.
Yeah. Queen
c3.
if I check c3 is theory.
And you went b6. This is also, I think, played in 400 plus games, so still quite well known. Um, your opponent went queen c2, which
So this
was
is, I
a
think, an
mistake.
inaccuracy.
Mm,
Yeah, I think the main move is bishop d2 here. So bishop d2 is played a lot. And after bishop d2, c4, b4, knight into b4, c into b4, c4, b4, knight into b4, c into b4, bishop into b4, queen c2 or something. And then after bishop into d2 check, knight d2, b5, knight c3, b4. That is when I think black gets some compensation for the piece.
mm.
And I think an interesting move here is knight c e4 or something. So
Ooh,
I think this is the main line.
wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And you were prepared for it. So
Yeah, I think I have a lot of games in this line actually.
online, yes.
Online, yes. So he
I
could have actually have come prepared against me, but
Mm,
I don't think he had a lot of time. So
right. Is it becoming more and more important now to study online games of a player when you are playing against them?
I mean, sometimes I also fake my theory online.
Mm,
So sometimes they can also look because they can misunderstand themselves and prepare for something which I may never play.
right.
That is one thing. But yeah, I think looking at Leech's games and chess.com games, if you have time, it's very helpful for sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think post pandemic this has become quite critical. Before, I think people were playing online just for fun, but when you have nowhere else to play, your online games are going to be your somehow the main weapons often that you are going to play. So you
Especially when there are classical games of single round days, that's a
Correct.
lot of time to prepare. That's
Correct.
when you can check this.
Right. So here, this move looks normal, but you were able to take advantage of it very accurately. You took on d4 and he went back. Maybe it's important to understand why this is not possible.
So I think there is knight d4, bishop d4, and b5, I think. And after b5, the knight is trapped.
Hmm. Okay, it's directly losing a piece.
I think you have knight c5, I think. Knight c5 gives knight c5. And after b4, there's queen a4. Oh, no, queen a4 works because queen a4, knight a4, bishop into b5 check, there's bishop d7. So it's still fine. Your piece up.
Hmm.
But I think for knight c5, there is bishop c5. And after bishop c5, b4. Now I think you get 2 points for the piece. Bishop into b4, c into b4, queen into b4 check. So I think it should be plus for black.
And yeah, 2 pawns is a
Yeah.
lot. So yeah, this is done. So therefore he went back bishop d2. And here again, you found a very nice move. Maybe the viewers can pause and try to think, what did black play here? So you didn't get tempted into playing b5 to trap the knight.
Yeah. I think for b5, there is.
CD,
Oh, c into
yes?
d4, right? C into d4,
Yeah.
queen into a4, queen into c6. Yes.
Queen a4 and queen c6, and
Yeah.
white is better. So d3 was a very classy move, just keeping the diagonal closed and also sort of deflecting the queen here. The queen went back. He could have gone to b3, but then
But I think I
maybe,
have b5 again.
yeah,
b5, I think traps the knight. Yeah.
this traps the knight. So he went queen d1. You played b5, knight c5. And I think this was his trick, that he can recover the piece here.
Yeah.
But what you did was very, very cool. Queen a4 takes, and now this check. Would you call yourself very good at calculation, or how is it?
I'm not sure actually because I've played some players whose calculation is, I feel, much, much better than mine
Hmm.
also. There was example I played in France against Harsha Bharatkoti, I think, in some rook endgame, complicated rook endgame. That is when, after analyzing with him, I understood that my calculation is nowhere close to him. Yeah, that was one thing. So I'm not very sure what to say. Yeah,
Hmm. But amidst all your skills, would you say calculation is your strongest, or?
maybe I like the middle game a lot. I
Hmm.
like keeping the queens on board. So maybe I think I would like
You like
calculation.
complications?
I like complicated positions. Yes, maybe.
Right. So king f2, you took the pawn. He went with the king here, and now you gave a check. He went to h3, and now you straight away going for the king to mate him. Maybe for him g3 and running away would have been the best. Yes, trying
Yeah, I
to
think
just
g3, there's queen g4 check, king g2. I think I'll go h4. I'm not very sure. h4 again threatens h3 checkmate, I think. So you can't go
oh,
knight h4 because rook h4.
right.
Yeah, yeah, I think should be still winning, I think, for black.
Yeah,
Can he bishop into
maybe
d3? Bishop into d3 is
h3
there.
and then try to run. Yeah, I mean you are
Ah,
better, but could be that he's trying to survive.
yeah, I think g3 is a fine move.
But he went knight h4, and you played queen e4, very powerful, with the idea of g5 now coming in. And he played queen b1, you went g5. So if he takes here, it's already a mate. And then he played this, and here you found a way. This was actually important to foresee, right? I don't know which point did you see the next move, but maybe we can ask our viewers to pause. What did Sharan play here? Try to think, because the queen is trapped. So not trapped, it can go to a4, but I mean, come on, you don't go there after such an attack. So when did you see this next move? At which point? Do you remember?
I think I saw it maybe when I played queen a4, I think. Because, no, not queen a4. Queen a4 is not possible. I think h5. I think h5 must have seen it. I don't exactly remember when I saw it.
So when you
I think maybe
played
H5.
this here,
Yeah.
here,
I
and
think
now.
instead of queen b1, I think I saw something else. Instead of queen b1, I think I saw bishop c1, I think. I'm not
Hmm.
very sure.
Hmm.
And the same thing after g5, bishop d3, and then, oh no, that doesn't work, no?
Same,
Oh, now
yes.
g4 check comes. Oh no, bishop f2, but bishop into e4, g4, queen into g4 is there, I think. But then I think leads to rook in h4 check. Queen g4,
Yeah,
h4, king g4, rook h4, and I win another piece. So piece up, king f3, d into e4, and king in f2, piece up, I think.
yeah, your
Yes.
piece up. So that's winning. But this is such a pretty finish because queen b1, g5, he when he took, you had bishop f2, and now g4 is a mate. So if he takes the queen, I think he should have allowed you to checkmate this on the board.
No,
He,
actually, he had already seen it. He was just testing me. So as soon as I played bishop f2, he resigned in a second.
oh,
So he just, yeah.
yeah, this was very nice. Let's have a look at one more game of yours. This one against, I think we can look at your game against Nikola, no, Nikolovsky, who is an IM. And you are playing with the black pieces. What is it about this game that you like a lot?
So I think this was a very, very important game in Bulgaria. It
Hmm.
was the penultimate round, I think. And I knew that this round, if I win, I have very, very good chances, or almost the tournament is over that I'm first. I thought, that's what I thought at least. So I knew this was a very crucial round. And I had come prepared also, even though I had like less than 30 or 45 minutes to prepare, because I think it was the evening round. And, but I had too much at stake. So I had to prepare for this. And I think most of my preparation actually happened also. But the middle game was, I think, again, beautiful
Hmm.
because of the middle game itself. There were some
Okay.
interesting tactics.
Let's have a look at it. D5, knight f3, e3, b6. Okay. B3. You just simply develop your pieces, control the
Yeah, because
center.
this is what I do also from the white side. So I thought I'll do the same thing from black side. Yeah.
Ah, you play
Yeah.
b3, bishop b2. So
Yeah.
a6. This is little unexpected. Yes, I was expecting you to castle.
Yeah, I think castles will lead to some interesting attacks from white side. And I think I've seen this game, I'm not very sure, where he has maneuvered his queen somehow very nicely. After castle C, I think he went queen e1 with something. And then he went queen g3 somehow.
Hmm.
But I saw some of, I think after f5 maybe, I'm not very sure. But I think h5 was a part of my preparation, I think.
Ah,
That's what I remember.
interesting.
Yeah.
And when he played h4, you must have been happy because it weakens the g4 square
Yeah.
quite a
That's also
bit.
true.
So
But I think
knights.
if he allowed me to go h4, I think his position would be very risky also, I think.
So like if castles h4, knight
Just go back to knight e1 or knight e2 or knight h1. That would be,
I mean sorry, h3 and g3. This
and the
this
diagonal is very strong. The b7 bishop is very,
very
very
powerful,
strong.
very
Yeah.
powerful. So h4, knight c6, knight g5, d4 you played, closing the bishop. He went e4, and you went knight to b4. So here I guess his pieces have become a little bit boxed in, the bishops.
Yeah.
He went queen e2, takes, pawn takes.
Yeah, this was actually very surprising for me because after knight takes, I expected queen takes itself.
Hmm.
But I think he was kind of not very happy with the future plan of, I think after castles a5, bishop a6, I think he was not very happy with that. So that queen loses tempo, and also rook on f1 if he castles gets keyword. So I think maybe he did not like it. So he chose c into d3, but I didn't really expect this move.
This kills
I
his
felt this is
bishop,
just
no?
position. Yeah.
It's
It's
just
just a dead bishop there.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
terrible bishop. It has to somehow come out from here because this is already gone. This diagonal. So when you went g6, he was like, okay, I need to break free. So you took, he castles, you also castled, and he played
Yeah.
f5.
Castles, I think, was an important point here. I think because f5, uh, it feels like white is better
Mm.
because I think the e6 square and the g6 square is very, very weak. And I think I'm not very sure if it's the best move what I played, but after the exchange sacrifice, which happens now,
You played e5, and I think,
it, it
yeah,
looks like a blunder.
yes, but it's a
Yeah.
positionally strong move.
Yeah, it's like I would call it positional sacrifice, which looks like a blunder. Yeah.
Mm. Takes, but I'm sure your opponent who was 2377 understood that it's a strong move that you played.
He
Or
played f into g6 very instantly.
mm,
96, but he took a few seconds.
takes. And what would you say? Like here, mainly it's this bishop which is dead, which gives you the compensation.
Yeah, it's like I'm playing two pieces versus rook.
Correct. But if he manages to activate that bishop, then he should be okay. Like with a3, perhaps at the right moment.
Yeah.
Um,
But I thought it will take some time. And also, I have the g4 square, and the h4 pawn is kind of weak, I thought. And I felt maybe I can do something. I think I tried to exchange queens because I think I felt exchanging queens is also good for me.
yeah.
And I played it in a very confidence move. So it was kind of like a bluff also. I did not want him to exchange queens, and I wanted him to believe that exchanging queens is good for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
And also,
So
also he offered a draw before you made your move. That's what you have written.
I think,
Opponent offered a draw.
okay. Oh, in annotations. Oh, yeah, I
Yes.
think he might have offered a draw, yeah, somewhere.
Mm.
Yes.
So he then, I think your confidence sort of made him that let's not exchange queens here. Although after trading here, maybe you would have taken with the knight.
Yeah, knight takes. So I
Rook
think rook
take.
takes and king takes.
And now the
I feel
h4 pawn is
slowly, I
alive.
think I can get maybe if I control the c file somehow, maybe with bishop c5, I think,
Mm.
and then slowly maneuver with bishop c8, bishop e6, maybe a5, a4, and then slowly create a passer pawn also. I
Yeah.
think this is what I thought of, maybe.
Mm.
And a2 pawn, I think, is very weak if he
Correct.
doesn't move it at all.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah, very, very interesting. He went rook f3 and you said thank you for the pawn. You took
Yeah.
it. Rook f1. And now you played your bishop to c8, threatening bishop g4. He went queen d1, allowing this check, but he came out. Sorry, allowing bishop g4, came out with a check. King g7, rook f2. So you have a very dominating position, but it's not so easy to sort of finish it off, right?
Yeah, because it's very delicate, I feel. If I allow him one infiltration, and I think the game is over.
Mhm.
So the F file and the C file have to be in complete control. I have to stop him because there are two open files and he has the rook. So I think if he infiltrates properly at the correct timing, it would be very dangerous for me. Because my king doesn't have a lot of pawns beside it.
Right. So that's why you captured the c file. He tried to activate his bishop with a3. You closed it. He took, and now you took back with the pawn, still keeping this bishop boxed. Rook a1. Now he's coming from the a file, and a very solid move. Rook c7, stopping it.
Yes.
Rook a8, bishop c5, queen a4, and now you played this move, rook e7. I was actually analyzing this game at some point, and I found a very interesting move here. I don't know if you saw it later in analysis or somewhere. The
Was it
move,
knight and e4 or something?
no, it was bishop d1.
D1. I
Yeah,
definitely did not see this in the game because I have no memory of this. Bishop D1.
because after
Um,
takes, there is knight g4
oh,
attacking the rook, and so it's basically a clearance of a
yeah,
square.
clearance. I did not analyze the game, so I'm not
Yeah,
very sure. I didn't see Bishop D1.
no,
Nice,
this
very
is
nice move.
very nice.
Very creative. Yeah.
Yeah, but your move was also very good. Rook e7, rook d8, bishop went back.
Yeah, I think at this point I was just trying to be solid
Mm,
because we both were in not having a lot of time on clock because the tournament time control was 60 plus 30.
mm.
So it was not a lot of time. I was just keeping the position solid as much as possible.
Right, rook f7. G3. And also you have a very nice strategic advantage, so you don't need to really worry too much.
Yeah, I
And
think Queen
here,
B8 was a blunder.
ah,
Queen B8, what he did was a blunder.
and now you finished it off very nicely. King G2. Maybe he had to go Rook F1, but then you would have
There's Queen and F1, I think,
takes, King takes,
and
and
Knight
Knight
D7.
D7, winning the Queen.
And that
So
was why Queen B8 was a blunder. Yeah,
correct, correct.
the bad square for the Queen.
So he had to go here, and now
Yeah.
again you found a very nice move. Maybe the viewers can pause and try to think, what did Sharon play here, Black to play. And so Sharon, you did Bishop H3 check here, King H3, Queen takes, Rook H2 check, Rook G2, Knight G4, and now threatening Queen H1. So check, King here.
I think here, after Rook H8 check, I think the game was actually over. I had a chance to go King G5, but I had 30 seconds on clock. So
Ah,
I calculated King G5, I think Queen D8 check, Bishop E7, Rook into H5 check, G into H5, Queen G8 check, King H6, Queen H8 check, and I think Rook H7 stops everything, I think.
mm.
Yeah. But I don't know why I didn't go for it. I felt Rook H7 is much simpler, and I played Rook H7 in that position. But he found a very nice idea in less time. He found the move. Yeah, he played Rook H7, King H7. I completely missed Queen A1.
Oh,
The idea of
nice.
Queen A1.
Nice. So he's going
Queen A1
back
was a very
here.
nice idea. Yeah. Actually, the thing is, even when he played Queen A7 check, I'm like, okay, Queen A7 check, King H6, the game is over. Let's checkmate next move. He can't do anything. So that's what I felt. But suddenly I saw Queen A1. Oh, I missed this completely. It was like a blind spot for me. Queen
Right.
A1.
You gave couple of checks and then you took bishop takes and you took here. And the nice thing is that even though he has some resistance, you are winning with your pawn coming down. So he went here and now you brought your king in. I think this entire game can be said that this bishop ensured that you would never lose or you would never be in trouble.
Yeah.
Knight e2 here, b2, b3.
I think here again, Bishop and F4 when he played, I had like around 30 seconds again, this position after Bishop and F4. I was thinking about E into F4 or B2.
Mm.
And I played this move in like 2 seconds on clock. I was thinking E into F4, King G2. I think after King G2, B2, Rook F1, Bishop D2. No, but I think instead of Bishop G2, there's F3 check, I think. F3 check is much stronger, I believe. Yeah, but I think I somehow felt that, okay, there might be a chance for him to draw in 30 seconds. I was not very clear to evaluate this position.
Mm.
But I think black should be winning. It's just too many pawns, I feel. So black should be winning, I felt. But then I thought, okay, B2 is just very simple. I saw B2, Bishop E5, and all the checks coming.
It's
With
also
after B1,
poetic,
I think.
right? That the bishop moment it freed itself, it allowed the pawn to queen. So that bishop
Yeah.
anyway couldn't do much. Rook f4, and you got your queen here, and he resigned. So beautiful game, very nicely played game, and also shows a lot of your skills of positional chess. And I really liked your decision here, which was to play e5, giving up material. I think a very strong move there. Let's have a look at one more game, one last game of yours. Which one would you choose? Would you choose it against Vladimir Resk or Lumachi Gabriel?
Okay, Vladimir Risk, I think the game was win, but it was very boring, I think. Again, very positional. I
Hmm.
think for the viewers, it would be good to watch the Lumachi game itself. Yeah.
Okay.
Very adventurous game.
And although the game ended in a draw, you think it was very interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Both of us were in huge time pressure also. That was very interesting. Yeah.
Okay, so let's have a look. You went c4, e6, d5, d4, knight f6, cd, ed, bishop g5, the main line of. Oh, you went for Ragozin now.
Yeah. Yeah.
e3, h6, bishop h4, g5, bishop g3, and knight jumps to e4. Knight e2, h5. This, I think this is one line which Abdusattorov plays a lot.
I think 3 days back before this game, I had checked out this line to play against somebody, but that opponent did not play d4 at all. So I did not get this opening.
Mm,
But I used that theory on this round, but I was not prepared because I didn't expect him to play this.
correct.
But I kind of remembered, I think there was a game, Nepo, I think, played white side and won or something.
Uh,
But I think Abdul Sattar also played some games from black side and won, I believe.
yeah, I think with Arjun, and also
Oh,
there is some Wesley So versus Abdusattorov, and he's played with many players. So
yeah.
h4, and now you took g takes h4, knight h5. I also remember, was it maybe some game of Vidit which reached here? Yeah. Vidit versus Bobby Chang. This was at the World Rapid and Blitz. We had this video recorded, so I was wondering, like, what is this very sharp position? Can you sort of make sense of what's happening here? I mean, the knight suddenly is on h5 and so on.
I think yeah, it looks like there is knight g7 check and all, but I don't think it's very risky because king f8, there is simply knight h5 back again.
Hmm.
Queen g5 is a very strong move which is coming. And I feel black has to long castle in the future for
Yeah.
sure. Because I think Abdul Sattar did knight c6, bishop d7 long castles, I think. That's what I remember.
Hmm.
Somehow he has done it. With queen g5 supporting the d5 pawn also.
Okay.
But yeah, I think it is some form of theory also, some weird form of theory.
Because if you go directly queen g5, then maybe he can go knight f4 back, or maybe insert a check and then go back like this, and he's okay.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. I think. Yeah.
So that's why you played c6.
No, but I think I remember the theory of c6 because I prepared 3 days back very, very well
Mm.
for that opponent. So I think I remember the theory of c6. I think it's engine best move also. I think
Yeah,
c6.
yeah.
Yeah.
And now you went queen g5. Okay, check looks scary, but as you said, like after king e7 or some, there's no wait for the
And I
knight.
just trapped. Yeah.
Yeah, it's bishop e2. You got your bishop out. And I think if given time, you just want to go knight d7 and long castle,
Yeah. That's
and
it.
you would be doing very well. So you went g4, and now
Here, I think I
you.
was thinking h10 to g3 for a long time. There was some very interesting line, I think.
Mm.
Sacrificing my queen somewhere, but I don't remember it where it is. But I think simple queen into g3, knight g3, rook h1, knight h1. And after knight d7, no, I think queen g3. I think he'll take queen g3. That's what I was thinking, I think, in the
Queen
game.
g3.
Queen g3, knight g3, rook h1, knight h1, knight d7, long castles, long castles. I felt the f7 pawn is kind of isolated
Hmm.
in the future. So I thought he was the one who's going to grind this position. But I think I analyzed this game and magically somehow engine says slightly better for black, I think. I'm not very sure.
Hmm.
Yeah. But yeah,
Maybe
I didn't like
maybe
the
it has
position much.
more to do with the fact that the bishop pair might be important. Yes, at some point the bishop comes back.
Maybe.
Could
Yeah.
be. Yeah. Very
Yeah.
interesting. But also he could have gone check here, no? And tried to win the rook.
I think this was the queen sacrifice. Yeah, queen in f6, queen in f6, queen in f6, rook in h1 check. This was the queen sack, yes.
Ah.
Rook in h1, king d2, rook into a1 was I was thinking. I was hoping for this actually. And if he goes bishop f1 instead of king d2, there's g2, I think. And after g2, king e2, there's no king e2 is g1 queen, so that doesn't work. Yeah, I think it's lost after g2.
Wow. Long
Yeah.
castle maybe, but yeah,
I
you
think
can
again
still do
g1 queens.
g1.
Yeah, g1
Just
queens. Yeah.
queens.
Yeah, this is
Wow.
the queen sacrifice. I
So,
remember
so
now.
knight
Knight
f6,
f6 was
you
the
would
queen
just
sacrifice.
take it. Because if you move the king, then your rook is hanging.
Yeah.
So he went you went knight d7. Although you saw all this, you didn't play it.
I
Because,
didn't play it because that I have queen g3, queen g3, knight g3, rook h1, knight h1. I felt that isolated pawn is not very good on f7.
right.
Yeah.
So you went knight d7, and now he played queen f4, f6.
Yeah, I underestimated this infiltration of queen c7 actually. I thought, okay, maybe just to move. I saw this move, but I thought maybe it's not that strong.
Hmm.
But it looked like it was actually very good for white after
Now
queen
you
c7.
can't castle. And also your
Yeah,
b7 is hanging.
yeah.
So you went king e7. Oh, he pushed you away. This is getting very scary for you.
Yeah. I think it should be plus for white in this position. I
Yeah.
think I felt even in the game I was minus in this position.
And he could have taken here, although it's very risky, right?
Yeah, he could have taken, but I felt I played this move rook a8 in confidence,
Hmm.
making him feel that c6 pawn cannot be taken. That is another bluff. But the thing was, even if he takes queen c6, I felt for a human after rook h c8, I think
Yeah.
queen a4, yeah, queen a4 or queen a6. I'm not sure, but I thought there is too much pressure on the c file and b file,
Hmm.
and I felt okay, maybe I can do something.
Correct.
Maybe I don't think I can take bishop c3 because bishop c3, bc3, rook c3, king f2 should be, I think, fine for. Okay, rook b2 is there, but rook b2, I think rook a b1. So I think white should be fine, I think.
Hmm.
But if not that, I thought at least if I don't take bishop into c3, I can at least go with maybe something like a5 or something. Then maybe go knight b6, knight c4 maybe in the future.
Right.
And I might have compensation is what I felt.
Human compensation here.
Yeah. Maybe
Uh,
the engine doesn't agree, but
yeah.
yeah, human compensation.
Queen a6 he played, and now you played c5, like just trying to play against his king in the center. uh, a3.
I think a3 was, I felt humanly bad a3 because after a3, I felt I'm better because of bishop c3, bc3. And then this move, I think, was very important. I think he missed this move. After this move, the white queen is just disconnected. c4, I felt, is very, very strong.
Very powerful. But he took here, and he's asking you like, you are still 2 pawns down, but now you enter the position rook b2, e4, because he needs to get his queen back into the game. So he's trying to. If you take here,
I think there was bishop into c4, I think. I'm not very sure.
ah, bishop c4,
Maybe bishop into c4.
and
And I
this
think
way.
the queen is back in the game.
Hmm.
So maybe I didn't like it, I think.
So you kept this, and you went rook b8.
Yeah, I think here I was calculating a lot. Here I think e into d5.
Hmm.
Maybe I was calculating the line of yeah. This was a miscalculation. I thought for this move for around 20 minutes. I think not 20, 15 to 20 minutes. I was thinking of rook 8 b6 in this position,
Okay.
and I was thinking queen a5 the entire time. So queen a5, I was thinking some interesting things like I think queen f7, queen h7. After
Ah,
queen h7, if d into e6, there is I think checkmate after d into e6 because rook into e2, king into e2, queen e4, king f2. No, wait. I think rook b2 first. Rook b2 first, I think.
yeah.
Rook b2 first. Now, if you go king f1, queen d3, king g1, queen e3, queen f3 is coming, and then queen g2 is checkmate, I think.
Hmm.
So this was one variation. Another variation I thought of the queen h7 was f5, I think. Yeah, f5. And now I think again queen h6. After queen h6, planning queen d2 check and queen into e2 checkmate. Check and then future checkmate. But I think there's a prophylaxis here. I think white can go with king f2 directly, I think. King f2. Now there's no queen d2 because if I go queen d2, there's rook e1. So I think this is the problem.
Hmm.
But I was calculating this entire time of this variation and all that. I was going much more deeper. But suddenly after rook 8 b6, I missed the first move itself. Rook 8 b6, I missed queen into c4. I was like, oh, this is there. The entire 15 minutes I calculated was gone for waste.
So you had to now readjust yourself,
And I had
and
to just
you had to
take the
take
pawn.
back.
I was a bit frustrated here. But yeah.
But it's the best move here, bishop d5, and he cannot go and try to capture this now, or can he?
Because I think rook 8 b6 gives me tempo of rook e6 or something. Check.
Rook e6.
Maybe. Yeah, because yeah, rook e6 is I think very strong. I'm not very sure if that's the best move.
Hmm.
Okay, queen h7 now I think, right?
Trying to get in.
Because bishop d5 is checkmate, and if he doesn't take, then I think I can go bishop c4, queen c4, queen c2. I think, or maybe I can go queen c2 directly. Queen c2 planning queen into c2, bishop into c4 check.
This is a threat. Although here he has this little trick
What?
because of this.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Maybe he does have that.
And
Oh yeah,
perhaps,
nice.
but maybe you can start with queen g, no, f5, right?
But I can go queen g5. No, I think queen g5, friend e6,
Ah,
queen
same thing,
d2,
same stuff
queen
like,
d2. I think. Yeah.
sorry, queen d2. Hmm. No, queen d2, queen d7 maybe. So
Oh, sorry, queen d7 is that? I think bishop c4, queen c4, and then queen d2. Huh? For f e6, bishop c4. I think
yeah, bishop c4.
bishop c4, queen c4, and then queen d2. But if he goes king g1, there's queen e3. Yes.
But
Oh
also
wait,
instead
I
of
think
queen d2, you can take this, no?
queen
And
h4. Yes, queen
yeah,
h4 is better. Yeah. Or queen
should
h1 checkmate
win.
is also.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Ooh, so that was some very intense. He went king f1.
Yeah, here is where I blitzed out a move. I blitzed out in frustration because the previous move I spent a lot of time.
You
So I thought
played
it's
this.
time to blitz out. But I think I missed a major move here. I think it was rook into e2
Ah,
at this
take
point.
here. Rook e2, yes.
Yeah.
King e2. But this
And now I
entire
think,
thing of queen g6 or queen h7 is very tricky to find.
yeah. And I think now it wins. I think black wins this position.
f5, queen g5, and you enter. Rook
Yeah.
b2.
Yeah.
Very cool. So rook b6, queen a5, bishop f7, g5, and now you are in trouble also somewhere.
Yeah. No, I think white should be fine because rook e1 is very strong for white.
He actually found a great move here, knight g3. If you take the rook, knight f5
Yeah.
is coming. Uh,
Yeah.
you gave a check. He played king g2, queen c2. He took rook takes.
Yeah. At this point, I think both of us were in 30 seconds. So
Ah,
there was a lot of things happening and both didn't
very
want to
less
draw.
time.
So such a complicated position. I just saw on if knight f6, if I take knight f6, there's queen e5 check and I lose the knight, I think. So I can't go knight f6. So I have to go king d6, I think.
Hmm.
And his position is very solid. Knight on g3 is like making a fortress with the bishop on e2.
Yeah, and he's
So
three
it's actually,
pawns up. So
yeah, three pawns up.
he's totally
Yeah, we
winning
were not
here.
counting pawns, I think. We lost count of pawns.
Check.
But I think this is not a very good thing because now the bishop on e2 became very, very weak.
Hmm.
I felt
Maybe
he
if
should
he
not have moved
kept
the
this
knight itself.
this structure here with knight, bishop like this protected, he could have been very safe.
Yeah, it's like king is very safe. My king is very weak.
Yeah,
He just has to leave his knight and bishop there near the king.
correct.
And I feel white is better.
But
But 30 seconds on
he
clock.
wanted to kill you, so he went in for the
Yeah.
attack, and I think your king started to escape, and now he was in trouble because if he now goes king f2 trying to protect the bishop, then rook b2 is already game over. So he went king f3, you went rook b2, rook h2, and you played rook b3 here,
Yeah.
king g4, knight f6.
Yeah. He started getting his king. I didn't expect this when he has 30 seconds, but he did it anyway.
You were trying to attack his king, and his king was trying to uh, hide
Yeah.
in your camp.
I always felt he missed rook b6 check. In that position, I felt like he missed that rank check.
Mm.
And I thought I would be winning there. But king g7 luckily escapes. King g7, king f8 is luckily escaped. But here I think this is the only move that draws.
Yeah.
I had 30 seconds in
Yeah.
clock. And this was a critical point, I felt.
And you found this amazing move, rook f6.
Yeah.
And now the point is, if he takes the knight, then he
This bishop
loses the
b5 check.
queen.
Yeah.
And he gave a check, but after this, you agreed
Yeah, now
to a
it
draw.
just, I think,
Because
perpetual checks. And now it's just draw.
what a
Yeah.
crazy game. Also,
Yeah.
it shows your fighting spirit, Sharan. And I think these games sort of encapsulate your style very well, which is, I feel, fighting, tactical, calculative, and in general, like, although your openings do not really take the game in that direction, I think you try to play solid openings, but your style is very sharp.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Maybe it's like Nidorf or something where you might start playing next now. these
Yeah,
openings?
I think I have never played Night Off in the past 15 years. So I'm not very sure because starting now would mean there's a lot of theory to study and all that.
Mm,
Yeah.
true. And finally, to sort of cap this interview, I wanted to ask your thoughts on, people often think that, beyond a certain age, chess becomes very stressful, as you also pointed out, because you want to make ends meet, you want to earn out of it. So, do you think that coaching is the only way to earn, or do you think playing and earning through prize money is also possible?
Playing and earning through prize money is a bit difficult. You have to be very consistent and very talented also
Mm,
at the same time. But it is possible. I mean, you can play rapid blitz events in India and you get a lot of experience, some prize money here and there also. But I don't think that would be very sufficient for Europe trips. So I think for Europe trips, you have to coach and simultaneously play.
mm.
Other forms of revenue is I've not thought about it in chess,
Well,
but
you have to find sponsors, but I think at the age you were, it's very difficult to find a sponsor, except maybe your parents. Yes,
yeah,
to find a corporate sponsor, they generally prefer to support youngsters.
yeah, that's the thing. Yeah,
So you had to
and
fund your
also
own journey.
yeah, and also we don't have that K40, so we can't jump rating. That's also a
Yes,
problem.
yes.
Yeah,
So and
we
but
have to.
that's what makes it very special, that with K20 you manage to increase your rating and reach 2433. Sharan, it's been an absolute pleasure talking to you, knowing your journey, and I think very few people manage to do what you have managed to get done right now. And I think it would be extra inspirational if you achieve your GM title. I think a lot more people will feel like, yes, this is possible to do. So I wish you the best in that journey.
Thank you, Sagar.